So the Steelers beat the Bears in dramatic fashion last night. They're 5-3, late field goal to win it. Pittsburgh's in the playoff conversation, but this isn't your typical Steeler team. They've been winning some close games, but they got a defense that's still pretty good. They got a running attack. Ben is pushing the ball down the field occasionally, but it's not pretty. I like Najee Harris. T.J. Watt is great, had 3 sacks last night. But this year's version of the Steelers, it's a winning ugly kind of team. And usually with their talented defense and more conservative offense, you know, it's going to take some getting used to here when you watch, but you're not tuning in to see Ben light up the night by throwing passes down the field. But it can work for Pittsburgh and could result in an AFC playoff spot once again. McLovin, what kind of poll question do we have today?
Let's start with that. Do you think the 5-3 Steelers will make the playoffs? Without studying the schedule or anything, what's just your gut instinct?
It feels like there's going to be one of those teams that, you know, backs in. You know, are the Patriots that team? Will the Steelers be that team? There's going to be a team that grabs that final wild card spot. I'm going to say no to the Steelers. As much as I like T.J. Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick, I like Najee Harris, I just don't think Ben, in a pass-happy league, that I don't think he can be dangerous consistently enough. And plus, if you look at the wild card, there's going to be a lot of competition. And if you look at what's going on with the AFC North, the Ravens going to be there. We know Cleveland's going to be there. Maybe Cincinnati recovers here. It's going to be pretty tough for Pittsburgh. And that's a game that you should win and win comfortably. I thought if that was in Chicago, I said that I would take the Bears to win that game. Obviously, the game was in Pittsburgh. So I thought it was going to be a competitive game. It didn't turn out that way the first 3 quarters, but it's, you know, because Chicago couldn't muster too much against that Steeler defense, put pressure on Justin Fields, and I like what I saw. But the big story is the officiating. And there was a couple of plays. And, you know, the Bears had a touchdown taken off the board, Jimmy Graham with a touchdown, and it was supposed to be a chop block on T.J. Watt, but, you know, the lineman missed T.J. Watt, but it was the attempt. And Justin Fields got roughed up a couple of times. You could have called roughing the passer a couple of times there. But then that sort of set up and built the momentum towards what I thought was a bad call, but also the correct call, and I'll explain. You had a situation where Ben got sacked, and in the moment, you had a Bears defensive player, Cassius Marsh, who doesn't get a lot of play. He's a journeyman. He used to be with the Steelers, and he sacks Ben, gets up and does some MMA whip kick or something, Karate Kid. I'm okay with that. And then he walks over in the direction of the Steelers bench. Okay, he's staring at them. And then he turns back around. Now, to me, that's taunting. And the official, Tony Correnti, waits until Marsh walks by him and gives him a little bit of a nudge and then throws the flag. So the ref did the nudging, and while I would have flagged Cassius Marsh for taunting, I mean, that's the rule. If you enforce the rule, then he was taunting. But he didn't throw the flag before the bump. Then that's where I had a problem with this. It didn't look good at all. But here's Cassius Marsh, the Bears linebacker, on taunting.
It's pretty clear to everybody who saw it that I wasn't taunting. Like, you know, I've been doing the celebration my whole career, and, you know, it's just sad to see stuff like that happen in a close game like that. It's just rough.
He also then talked about getting hip checked by the official.
On my way to the sideline, I got hip checked by the ref, and it's pretty clear. If I were to do that to a ref or even touch the ref, you know, we get kicked out of the game and possibly suspended and fined. So I just think that was incredibly inappropriate, and that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, it is. You know, I didn't like the optics, how it looked with the official with a little nudge back to him, and then you throw the flag. You had time to throw the flag. It was an obvious taunting. And, you know, I didn't know if he was going to kind of hold on to that flag if he doesn't touch him or they don't make contact there. Because in the moment, it's a really important play because Pittsburgh maintains the possession of the ball. I just didn't like the way it looked with the official there. Cassius Marsh should know better. Maybe he doesn't know better because he's usually not in those moments of making a big play. But you gave the official the opportunity to be able to throw the flag. Yes, Eden.
Cassius Marsh's swag level to career doesn't match.
I know.
The dude post-game, he's dressed like a Viking. When he's playing the game, he's got crosses painted on his face. He's doing the jumping spin kick, and he's been cut from every team he's ever been on. Yeah. He's a practice squad player, but he looks like a superhero or something.
Who's the actor, T.J. Miller?
Yeah, from Office Christmas Party.
Yes. He looks a little bit like him with his hair. But he's got all the tats, and he's got his necklace, and he's got his fur coat and whatever. And he comes in, and you think out of a movie, that guy must be the villain.
He could be right out of what's the Pacino movie?
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. He's exactly the star linebacker in that.
Yeah, does somebody else get away with that? I don't know, because people have asked me that. Hey, does T.J. Watt get away with that? I don't know if T.J. Watt does that, but it is taunting, okay? It is taunting. What he did, and he stares down the other sideline. But let me go back to my side of the field, and the official gives him a little bit of a nudge and then throws the flag. Then I have a problem with that. Yeah, McLevin.
See, I didn't think it was taunting because it didn't look like the videos from the summer, where those were all like close proximity, like the defender's right there and you say something in his face. So since there was no direct person in front of him, I think most of America thought that one didn't even fit the description.
The poor punter is coming out, and then, he gets a little bit of the wrath, that he's staring him down for some reason.
I hope he's going to be okay after that direct look. Thoughts and prayers.
Yes, Eaton.
I think most of America agrees that the rule this year is being used really poorly. It's really stupid. But given the current climate around taunting and the NFL, what he did was clearly taunting.
Yes. But you know what? I still go back to when you had Lamar Jackson do a somersault in the end zone, and that's not taunting. As if to say to the defense, I am so wide open, I can do a somersault. I can do a cartwheel. That's not taunting? And then you had the Steelers' entire defense that ran down the field 60 yards to celebrate in the end zone. That kind of strikes me as taunting as well. Look, do I think there was outrage? I don't know from who. I've tried to find out, who said, we've got to stop the taunting. Because a year ago, they wanted to enhance the celebration in the NFL. I can't figure this out. And how many fights have started? How many fights can you think of other than Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph? I can't think of many. And it is a violent sport. There's going to be talk, trash talk. I get it. But some of the taunting, it's okay if you do it, but you don't face the other team. You do it away from the other team. I mean, this isn't grade school, high school. Yeah, Paul.
You're right. It is that tenuous. If Cassius Marsh turned towards the end zone and did the same kind of swagger walk look, he's not looking at the Steelers players. So if he pointed in three other directions, he's fine. One other thing, though, Cassius Marsh in his post-game interview said, I've been doing that celebration my whole career. Is this guy Bruce Smith? Does he have 200 sacks? This guy's got 15 sacks in 8 years.
That's why his swag level is dialed up to 11.
Oh,
you're like, dude.
Absolutely. You're like, man.
The Steelers just cut you 6 months ago.
He acts as if he's had T.J. Watt's career.
Right.
And you're going, dude, just get to the sidelines. Oh, man. I want to know what the NFL says today. Does the NFL Players Association, do they pick up this story? Do they have Cassius Marsh's back? Does Marsh get fined? Does he get suspended? Here is his head coach, for the time being, Matt Nagy.
It's an emotional game. And so that's not excusing anything. But we gotta be smart. And it's also an emphasis this year, right? It's a major emphasis. So knowing that it's a major emphasis, we all as coaches and players got to make sure that you just don't even put it in the gray area, right? Don't put it in that area. And you guys did a great job. You worked like hell to get off the field. So come off the field, right? celebrate with your guys. And so again, I gotta see it. I didn't see it, but it's it's one of those deals that we know they're emphasizing it.
Yeah, I give you credit. Matt says the right thing there. Celebrate with your teammate. You don't have to stare down the Steelers and act tough. Just go. Go. You just made a big play. Yeah.
See what you guys are missing out on? Steelers.
Yeah, you could have had some of this.
See?
I could be playing for you guys.
One that got away, Steelers.
Yes, Paulie.
Okay, here's the follow-up question. Tony Correnti, the referee, forget about the call of taunting. Did he initiate contact with the Bears players? And will the NFL, should and will the NFL discipline him in any way?
Yes, he did, and no, they won't. Yeah. Because it was just sort of like he just kind of stuck his cheek out. And I went, why? Yes, Todd.
It's got to work both ways. With you can't touch a ref or you can't touch a player either. And he definitely stuck his hip out. The last time I saw something that blatant was Reggie Jackson. I know you don't like me going back to the 70s and 80s, knocking the ball in the World Series to send it flying into the outfield so a run can score. That was definitely blatant, and he stuck his hip out, and he should be fined and suspended. He should probably miss at least one game, that ref, if not more.
Maybe a little better reference, but I like your passion. Like Reggie Jackson in a rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be at least 45 years old.
I know, but that has nothing to do with
there was a hip
last
check
time.
there, and it needs to be addressed.
That is true. All right. Thank you, Todd.